scheduled.
Fail. All right, welcome. Hello. This is Technical Difficulties 101. We've kept you waiting, but you're waiting for all the good stuff. Welcome to the Orca Pod. Annabel, you missed why we've now called it the Orca Pod. Did you follow that in last week's episode?
No, unfortunately, I have not had an internet connection since. Well, I just got internet back at 5 o'clock this afternoon. I hadn't had it since Wednesday midday. So while I've taken extensive notes for this episode, I still need to catch up on the Zaddy saga, and I haven't watched the podcast from last week. So
Okay.
I'm very behind. Forgive me.
So that's fine. We're the Orca Pod because in the episode, James Wolfe gave this amazing confessional about how he is the apex predator of the game. And when he's talking about apex predators, and everyone below him are the plankton to which he is feeding on. So instead of going with, a different sort of apex predator, he went for the whale, and which we thought was particularly crazy given his last name of Wolf, and he should have gone with like a wolf theme and like done a oh or something at the end of it.
Fun fact, the most dangerous animal in the zoo is actually the African wild dog, because they have a 98% success rate when it comes to killing if they decide that they want to kill something because of the amazing collaboration that they have. So there you go, African wild dog, fun facts, and Schneider!
Hello, Schneider. Welcome. So that was the Orca Pod. So now we're the Orca Pod. It's a testament / insult to James Wolfe, who I can't wait to get on this show at some point. But he's the apex predator. Look, we gave him a lot of credit for the confessional because it's really hard in these games to, do a confessional that's so confident and cocky. But that's what you want to see from a TV point of view. So, claps for doing it. But, we're still going to make fun of you for it. Okay, so we get to this episode. It's a big episode. Now, Annabelle has made notes for me this time. I guess she feels that my rambling thoughts from one point to the next are not delivering the kind of production she's keen to be a part of. A week off, and now we have detailed notes. Interesting, but we'll go with it.
Was it passive-aggressive? Yes. Do I regret it? No.
We'll see if it improves the show. So we start the episode with... now, look, you missed this as well last week, and I think I have to now place an apology. I was livid. I was angry. I was blasting the production of this show for giving this cast fucking umbrellas, like on Survivor. And Ma jumped to its defense saying, it was wet. And I said, I played in wet. I played in wet, Ma. You were there too. She's like, it wasn't the same. It was so wet. And to be honest, this episode sort of made that clear. It was really fucking wet. Like, oh my God.
And you know what? I don't mind seeing other people suffer. I live for that. But what I will not stand for is my own suffering. And the audio quality would have been absolutely disastrous if we did not have umbrellas and we had to listen through that rain noise. Because frankly, it was already a little bit, oh my God, Greg, I'm a huge fan too.
Yes. It's the Lentil King. The Lentil King has arrived.
We simp for Greg. But no, I'm pro umbrella, if only for my own. And can we just moment of appreciation for Liv? She was serving the whole way through this episode, like look after look. And given that they were needing Noah's Ark to get them out of there, I thought that deserved a little bit of extra acknowledgement.
Do you think she has like a makeup and hair crew? Because this season really gone up to a new level. Do you think she's got that crew back in her trailer?
Well, I don't see how else she could be so flawless all the time. I mean, I think there's an army probably of 6 or 7 running around with umbrellas ready to touch her up at any given moment.
And Dan as well, of course. He looks just as pretty. So surely the team's working on Dan as well.
The safari suit, always flawless.
We're missing the safari suit with all these rain jackets. It's a bit disappointing. Okay, so we have a confessional of so Sophie says that Liv is a natural beauty.
Yeah, she's incredible.
So she is, yes, I agree.
I got a fresh lesbian manicure just for her. I'm here, Liv.
Beautiful nails. So we finally got on Kubadang a bit more clarification. They start actually having a bit of a breakdown of who are we actually with? Like, what is our actual alliance? They're actually having these discussions at last. We always saw that it was Nick and Ma, and then they were decided, and Sophie, and then and they all seem very connected with each other. There was a conversation with Sophie and Nick about that. And then would we go with Joe and Malcolm? Well, with Malcolm, which sort of means bringing on Joe, or would we go with Michael, which means sort of bringing on Banfield, because those two were sort of connected as loose hookups to that tribe? And we obviously got the answer at the end of the episode, but they finally were really being clear about their positions.
Yeah, I actually drew a very complex diagram I forgot to digitize for this episode, but it was really interesting where all the relationships were lining up here, and it seemed like Sophie was in the best position. So on one hand, we've got Michael and Banfield, which inevitably becomes fractured when Michael, our snaky king, decides to throw Banfield under the bus to protect himself. Max, lovely of you to turn up today. Then in the middle,
I feel like
no, don't break Annabel's stream. Come on.
Shush. In the middle, we've got Ma, Nick, and Sophie, right? And then on the side, we've got Mal and we've got Joe. Now, Mal thinks that he's super tight with Ma, Nick, and Sophie, but that's not reciprocated by Ma.
Correct.
Sophie says Nick is her number one, but we're sensing that Nick's probably going to go with his crush. And we've previously heard that Ma has no interest in working with Sophie a couple of weeks ago. Did something happen last episode that I missed?
I think she's always been with Sophie. Joe.
No. There was a period there where they definitely had a little icing of that.
Oh, well, in the last episode, Sophie's the one that Ma told on the edit about her advantage and what she planned on telling the tribe. So that was the person she was confiding that information in.
Okay, cute. But essentially this came down to Ma. So Ma was saying, or it's Ma who's got this connection with Michael and Banfield, or she's got the connection with Michael. Mal has got the connection with Banfield, and she's thinking about Connor's advice. And she thinks ultimately if she's with Sophie, then the numbers therefore are going to be with Malcolm and Joe. So she might have to cut Michael, even though she doesn't want to. Given that Ma has spent so many weeks actively hating on the Mal-Joe contingent, what did we think about this concession from her? Schneider, no one said papyrus, but love that for you, babe.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Sorry, technical issues.
Yes. All right, Max, you're allowed.
Hi guys, good to see you. I'm well, thanks. Thanks for asking. I feel like I'm a spectator in our own podcast, but anyway, I was early to this, and then obviously had some technical difficulties. Apologies, but I feel like my hot take's already gone. I came too late to the party, haven't I? Clearly.
No, well, I'm asking you, what do you think about Ma's decision to side with the Mal-Joe contingent over the Michael Banfield contingent?
Well, as you said, she definitely took Connor's advice, and sorry, CK, couldn't hear you there.
I couldn't even interrupt you. I was muted. I'm saying, hang on, we're jumping to the tribal council. You've got all these notes for me to follow. I've just gone straight to
I have. No, I'm saying this early. I'm not talking about the tribal council. I'm saying this early. We're right at the beginning, and she's saying she's ready to cut Michael because the numbers are with. Look at dot point at the bottom of my Back at Camp notes here.
Okay, fair.
CK, even when you're muted, you somehow cut me off. How does that work?
I'm just that incredible.
Regurgitating the episode.
This is so annoying. I had the computer. Anyway, no, I feel like it was good that Ma took Connor's advice, and you go to the side that's going to win, and you stick to that side.
Is it Connor's advice? it was Machiavelli's advice that Connor regurgitated.
You know what? It was Machiavelli's, but I forgot the term, so I didn't want to say it. It looks stupid.
It's Machiavelli's advice that Connor regurgitated, which admittedly is better advice to take than Connor's, because let's face it, he's not exactly George, right? Like, when it comes to survivor strategies. Like,
exactly.
So I think it's good that Connor acknowledged his own deficiencies. It's like, I'm going to give you advice from a 15th century politician warmonger as opposed to my survivor skills. But it was the right advice, and it was really well edited in, actually, as a narrative. Like, as in the I've got to pick the side. They call back to the Connor cameo, which, as we talked about, was a huge get. Makes it relevant. It's a really cool way they brought that all together.
Without jumping forward, CK, great point. I felt like this episode was edited in a really cool way, where they had the flashbacks from different parts of previous episodes, where it reminded the viewers of the situation and explained the situation further. And even like the sweet touch of honoring Banfield's grandpa with his the pictures, and also the in loving memory at the start. So RIP to Banfield's grandfather. Obviously, very sad news when you lose a grandparent, and it's great how the people behind the editing, or Dan and Liv, just honoured that.
The Australian Survivor,
the collective
was really
great. Yeah,
and look, really, the editing is great. It went. Look, I started off putting it on, and we're all watching a hell of a lot of Survivor right now, and I'm like, an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, oh God,
we should Blake's comment.
But
I think that was quite pertinent that Ma was willing to make that move, because it was Sophie that was calling the shots, and that she's the one who's in the center of all of these alliances.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that for you, Banfield. Sorry, CK has all of
it was an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a chore. But it was so well put together that even though it was long, and I said it to you today when you're going to watch it, Annabelle, it's long, but it's good. And it was a really great way of doing the pre-merge ep, of really pulling together all the stories from the pre-merge and now setting us up for the merge. So they did a great job. Should we jump on to Win You and what was going on with them?
I wanted to just mention there with the editing and Blake, actually, speaking to Banfield's comment, Banfield's story was incredible this episode. Not just like the little bits, like the callback to his relationship with the iconic Bradley, or the time-lapse footage of that shed that was stunning. But even though this is jumping ahead a bit, there was actually this really cohesive storyline for him throughout this episode. So here at this first bit, we have this really funny story about Blake's relationship with Grandpa Brad, and how they've made these jokes that Blake would never cut it on the real Survivor because he's too sheltered. Then, halfway through the episode, we get this really sad music, beautifully edited piece about how Banfield's suffering in the rain, and he's cold, and he's not doing as well as the other players on his tribe. And then it kind of finishes with this like beautiful little cherry on top in Banfield's exit confessional, where he says, "I just didn't play hard enough. I came in here wanting to be the glue that held us together." And I just felt like this narrative that was kind of started with this conversation with the grandpa saying, "Are you cutthroat enough for this? Are you built for this intense survival situation?" was really nicely and subtly shown throughout the episode.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Really well done. I agree. I think what we might do, let's do this in a slightly different order now that you've done your notes. Let's keep talking about Kubadang. Hey, I know the name now. Wow. And we know what happens at the challenge. We'll talk about the challenge in a minute. We'll talk about Kubadang, we'll talk about their tribal, and then we'll do the challenge, and then we'll talk about Win You, right? Cool. As a way of just flagging it. So that's what's going on with Kubadang. Let's talk about the vote that they have. So they have a vote. They're going to go into this vote, and we talked about the choice. And I think we've really talked this quite a bit about why they've chosen Banfield instead of Joe. And it was really a choice. It was Sophie's choice, and Sophie has the ability to I know I'm using the tribe name, Sophie.
Because I wrote them in the notes I wrote for him.
Sophie's that is the reason they're in front of me. It's all Annabelle. So Sophie has the control and she makes the decision. And as Blake said, he didn't play hard enough, and I don't know if there's any much more to talk about that. We'll get him on shortly and talk a lot more. Is there something you want to raise?
Yeah, I disagree.
You don't think it was Sophie? That's the comment said Sophie.
No, Sophie was absolutely critical, but we've actually got two sides here. So we've got Nick Mar Banfield who want Joe, and then we've got Mal, Joe, Sophie who want either Michael or Banfield, with Mal with a preference for Michael. But it's actually, this is what I wanted to kind of maybe unpack a little bit with Banfield when we get to talk to him. Michael pulls Sophie aside. Michael identifies he's potentially in a bit of trouble here, and he gets on the front foot and throws his number one ally under the bus and says, look, he's got lots of friends on the other tribe. Little do they know about Nick. And says, this Banfield guy, is his name Blake? Is his name Bradley? Is his name Banfield?
Yeah.
We got to get him out. And then, yes, Sophie is the one who convinces Nick and Ma to go with that. I also think Ma has the relationship with Michael, but not with Banfield. Had they pushed for Michael, maybe she'd have pushed back. But I do think that it's Michael getting on the front foot here as well.
And there's no doubt that they've got the numbers going into merge. And with the numbers going into merge, your risks are players that are going to want to take the next phase of the game. Kubadang, we're not going to final 6. That's not happening. Time to make some moves, right? And that's not Joe. Like, look, I could be wrong. She could blow me out of the water, but she seems like she's a loyal player who's going to stick with the people she's aligned to. She's not going to be making the big flip and doing a big move. Banfield, look, I've only watched him on the show, but 2 minutes into watching him on the show, I felt this is the guy that'd be willing to make the big move and the big flip in the merge. So I feel like it is the right target for the tribe with the numbers. I feel like they made the right decision there. I think he could have blown the game wide open.
Very smart, very high survivor IQ, I should say, rather. Even to the point of the strategic jumper that he brought in.
Yes, but do you know who doesn't have a high survivor IQ? Michael. Now,
no, I disagree.
No.
I disagree.
He said on the prior episode, when he got the Rocks advantage, that he was going to tell them it was an idol. He could only play at 10 or 5. And I said, no one's going to believe that. Everyone watches Survivor. They know what a legacy idol works. But not only does he do that, he actually uses the word legacy and expects people not to realize. And Mal's immediately like, oh, yeah, so he's got an idol that he can bequeath to people because that's how legacy idols work. Like, Michael, what were you thinking?
Immediately comes out and gives everyone a major incentive to target him, which is, again, why I think that we need to give him some credit for throwing out Banfield's name, because knowing he announced to the whole tribe, I have a legacy advantage. It doesn't matter what, only Joe was confused by it. Everybody else knew exactly what he had. And the fact he managed to get away with that was absolutely incredible. Max, have an opinion on it because I want to talk about Sophie's snafu as well. Max? Sorry.
Yes.
Do you have a feeling about Michael's snafu?
I think no, I was saying I think Michael has high survivor IQ. I think
but this was a mistake.
He's obviously made mistakes, but he's come back strong. As Annabelle said, he knew he was one of the people being targeted in that particular vote, and he deflected. He saved
I'm just giving him shit for the legacy thing. He is good at Survivor, but the legacy thing was stupid.
Especially when we saw Mel explaining his idol to us in his confessional. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's like...
and that happened a little bit early. That happened earlier in the episode before Michael actually explained to the whole tribe about the idol. So I thought I like that little.
The word legacy means with an idol. Like we all watch.
And Mal, as we know, is a massive Survivor fan, and another one with a huge Survivor IQ. So he's aware of everything.
Hang on.
Hear
I'm
the
going to
word.
change up. I'm going to change up the format even more. I'm going to change
No,
up the
I
format.
have something to say first.
Okay.
Before you change the format.
Change the format.
I think this is where, I mean, I know Banfield's played minis, but I think this is where Michael's extensive org experience really made a difference. And Max, we've lost your video and your microphone. And that's getting on the front foot. So yeah, he made the F up with the legacy confession, but then immediately knowing, shit, I'm probably on the front foot, and getting really aggressive in that gameplay is something you wouldn't do if it was your first time playing something like this. Banfield played orgs maybe 5 to 10 years ago. Okay.
Well,
all right.
when you were 7?
Banfield.
No, okay, so here's how I'm going to change the format, because we've got Banfield waiting. Let's bring Banfield in. Let's chat with Banfield. Then we'll take Banfield out. Then we'll do Win You. We'll talk to Haley, and then we'll bring them both together at the end.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan.
Because we've only talked about Kubadang. So let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Blake, Bradley. Is there other B's in there? Triple B, Banfield. Welcome to the program.
Hey, honey.
Hello, everyone. Just quickly, let me. My partner's watching Big Bang in the background, so just let me know if you can hear that.
No, it's not too bad. Like, it's a little noise. It's not too bad. I can sort of hear it. It's all right. Yeah. Now, my important question to you. All right. You're called Banfield because you go by the name Banfield. It's a pretty simple explanation to give to anyone. Why the elaborate lies about the name?
This goes back to before the game started. So what happened was, just before our first challenge, like before the cameras were on, we're all in a circle telling each other's names, and someone asked, then it came to my turn. So someone asked me, it's like, oh, what's your name? I was like, oh, Banfield. It's like, oh, okay, that must be your last name. What's your first name? I was like, oh, it's Banfield. I was like, your first name is Banfield? I was like, oh, what have I done? I just butchered this so bad. and then I doubled down on that. I didn't put down the shovel. No, I dug deeper. They said, oh, so what's your last name? And I was like, oh, Bradley. I was like, oh, wait, no, Banfield. That doesn't make any sense.
Banfield, Bradley, Banfield.
It's really, this needed to be on camera.
So good. It was for us.
Social anxiety just triggered, and I was just fucked everything.
Babe, what a mess.
Look, I love the method. There's a real survivor strategy. I know this probably wasn't your strategy, but there's a real survivor strategy to introducing yourself with some sort of nickname. Like, certainly when I introduced myself in Melbourne Survivor as CK, the only people that actually fucking called me CK were the people that were actually aligned with me, and the people that weren't kept calling me Chris. It was a pretty good fucking indication of who actually respected my wishes and who didn't. It's a little survivor tactic for those out there.
You're so right, Chris. You're so right.
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it?
Banfield, I have a burning question. So we've talked about Michael's legacy advantage, but Sophie came back from the sacrifice last episode, and she told you all, I was magnanimous. I knew Haley, she's suffering. I said, Haley, take the advantage. I don't want a bar of it. And then only moments later, you are at the challenge, and it's very loudly announced by Dan, well, Sophie, due to your decision at the sacrifice the other day, you need to sit out of this challenge. And yet we saw no blowback from that whatsoever. Can you just talk me through, was there something that we didn't see? What were you thinking or feeling?
Honest to God, it was the weather. I did not give a shit what Dan and Liv was saying at that time. I didn't care why Sophie sat out. I was just like, I'm fucking cold. I was sitting there, I was like, the whole time. I just wanted to sit down and get out of the rain. I just didn't give a shit.
Fair enough. I think there's a really good narrative Sophie could have actually spun about it once she found out what the challenge was. Because it was for individual immunity, it could have been that Haley had an ability to take someone out of the challenge as an advantage. It only really works once you get there and you find that out, and then you're pretty good at spinning some lies. But like, it was sort of there more than any other. I didn't understand why she was lying. I don't understand why anyone was lying about the ultimate sacrifice. Everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah, that's right. But
you didn't get to go though, did you, Banfield?
No, so
No.
at that eating challenge, when they picked Malcolm instead of me, Anna was looking at me, and I kind of just backed away behind Malcolm because they had picked James, and I already knew everyone thought I was tight with James. So if I was like, oh, I'm going to go off to the ultimate sacrifice with James, oh, I'm just going to kill myself my game. So I'll just, hey, don't pick me, pick
you
that
could have
guy.
got safety without power.
See, I didn't think that far ahead because, well, I was too busy freezing to death.
You were shivering quite a lot.
Yeah, they even gave you that edit as well. In that moment, Banfield, how comfortable were you feeling within your tribe and your alliance?
Oh, what alliance! By the
As with
third
Michael,
challenge,
you had Michael. Did you believe you and Michael were?
Who was your alliance? Let him talk, CK.
I had no one.
Chris.
The narrative was spun by Canberra Survivor. Everyone thought I was with Michael. Michael stopped talking to me after like the third challenge. He was hanging out with Ma and Nick for the rest of the game. So every time I tried to get a one-on-one chat with anyone, they just more or less brought someone else in. It's like, quick, come help me out here kind of thing. It's like I was on the bottom from like round 3, really.
Why do you think that was?
Because of the whole fucking name gate saga.
Oh, really was that bad?
Whoever thought someone's identity could cause so much chaos? Like, why was it such a problem how I choose to identify myself?
Yeah, that's why.
You!
The story you gave confessional.
Name, it's not even worth lying about.
The story you gave to confessional about being at primary school and there were a bunch of Blakes and so you were Banfield and so you go by Banfield is a perfectly legitimate story.
That would have been fine if I didn't fucking dig deep the fucking first second of being there in the group.
It's a
nerve-wracking
nerve-wracking
the shovel. It would have been
experience.
fine.
Sophie says that she thought you and Michael were tight and she was shocked when you said, when Michael said he was happy to vote you out. So It wasn't just the edit.
No,
apparently
I was on the bottom. No one wanted to talk to me. No one wanted to strategize with me. Like the person that talked to me most was like Nick.
This is very sad. I don't like how people weren't even fake strategizing with you.
No.
Like giving you some hope.
So talk to me about your relationship with Nick. Let's hear about that.
It was just him being nice. That's all that was. Yeah, it was just like, I'll drip feed you some sort of oxytocin or something to make yourself feel better.
This is getting very sad, Banfield. Can we get this up? I feel very sorry for you now.
Not the way I thought this was going.
No.
Right, crack out the sad violins, boys. We're going down depression over here.
And this is coming from someone who I get about 30 seconons an episode to say something, and
good ways to be depressed.
Yeah. No, it's because Chris talks all the time. Isn't that right, Chris? I mean CK. We work together. It's CK.
No, it's going to be Banfield from now on. It's Ban. I'm now Banfield. It's my name.
But as a Survivor fan, Banfield, how was the experience for you? How did you prepare?
Incredible.
How did you Did you do anything to prepare for this? Did you watch previous seasons? Did you watch Survivor Australia seasons? Like, did you go on runs? What happened? What was?
No, I didn't.
Did you pick out? Did you buy that jumper?
He's trying to talk,
I bought the jumper. Max is just trying to cut people off because he's always the one being cut off. So
thank you.
It comes full circle now.
I shouldn't be cutting off the guest. That's bad.
You're cutting them off again. Let Banfield speak, Max. Jesus Christ.
Now you know how I feel. I just need to give the guests the real experience.
That'll do it.
I'm gonna ask the other. Oh, sorry. Go back. Okay.
You can join the other pod, whatever it's called. I don't care. Be serious over there. This is the fun show.
I can't even remember what the fucking question was.
That's why this is the fun show.
You have a special diet. Did you work out for this 24-hour experience?
Not at all. I bought the jumper. That was about it because I wanted to be, fun and quirky. But yeah, it kind of was.
Do you think
like
you came across?
detrimental.
Do you think you came across as fun and quirky?
Oh God, no! Fucking everyone pinned me in this like big old threat. It's like I really just wanted to have a good time, just hang out with people and have a bit of a laugh. But like everyone took their game so seriously. As soon as
I
the
would have
fucking
found
Namegate saga went out, I may as well just been fucking sitting in my car for the rest of the day. Fucking hell.
Namegate is my favorite thing now. Really,
Thank you
I think
so much.
I was intimidated by the jumper. I would have been intimidated by the jumper, and I would have used it as a reason to like throw you under the bus if I was playing with you.
Yeah, but truth be told, aside from my identity, aside from my personal life, I did not tell a lie the whole game strategy-wise or anything like that. And yet I was still considered untrustworthy and threatening.
Well, I
Well,
said
you just told us-
before that if you got to the merge, you were the sort of guy who could look to flip and turn it into exciting. Are you that sort of guy, or am I doing a misread there?
It all comes down to a variable at that point because of where I was in that position. Then, of course, flipping was definitely sort of in the narrative just because I had nowhere else to go. Why would I be the bottom of a 6-person alliance? No, fuck that.
So
Talk to me about, I think, a really interesting narrative we're seeing this season, or we're seeing but is unspoken, is about the pre-game relationships. And I think that you obviously have a very surface level pre-game relationship compared to, say, Nick on your tribe, who has very close relationships with some of the people on the other tribe. Talk to me about your pre-game relationships and how you thought those were going to factor into your game versus how they really did.
Well, truth be told, the Orca, big wolf dog, he and I actually hosted a podcast together.
Ooh, Orca.
Yeah, he and I hosted a Survivor podcast together, maybe a few years ago now. But yeah, so
how long did you do that podcast for?
That's
how long
close.
4 episodes.
Okay, so it died quickly.
Yeah, it wasn't really like a longevity thing, kids and life and shit.
Yeah.
So, but that's fun whilst it lasted. But yeah, going into that, I didn't know he was playing, so he was the first person I saw on the day. So I was first person to show up. Next was James. Next was John. But they arrived like at the same time. So I walked up to James and be like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Banfield," trying to emphasize my name and who I was going with into the game. Yes, and plenty of emphasis. And then he turned around at the very first tug of war challenge when he and I went into the challenge to verse each other. He said, "All right, Blake, let's do this."
Oh no!
Are you fucking serious?
No.
So, is that why people thought? Is that why people thought you were close? Because he was calling you a different name? Yeah.
That's exactly why.
I mean, in fairness, he's calling you by your middle name. That's pretty buddy stuff.
You're making me cringe.
Do you think the Orca was throwing you under the bus here, or you think he just did not realize you were playing such a tiered level of different name game? An unforeseen Survivor approach.
Mate, I was playing checkers. He was playing chess, like for sure.
You must have cut him off too many times in the podcast in the past, and just had to get you back.
I was the CK. He was the Max. That's what happened.
I think it might be the other way around.
I think so too.
You literally stole Max's strategy to win an orc recently, babe. Don't even at him.
I was doing it facetiously and still won. It was very weird.
Like CK's playing chess. I'm not even playing checkers. I'm playing noughts and crosses. That's how far below.
I want to say,
James. Sorry.
How did you
quickly,
feel?
James.
Yeah, shush.
Excuse me, Max. Calm down.
That was CK.
How did you feel about the farewell message that somebody? What? I've got a question.
He's fucking trying to tell you something before you ask a question. Shut up.
Oh, is he? Sorry.
Yes.
Continue. Hang on.
So, if anyone was actually paying attention at the ultimate sacrifice of episode 5, they didn't actually show the conversation between Mal and James.
Yes.
What had happened was that I had a chat to Mal after the game and then went to Dan after the game with that information, was that James was actually dragging me, like, on a pretty harsh level, apparently. I don't know what was actually said. And I just went to Dan, just like, "Hey, if this is actually true, can we just, not just drag my personal character here?" And Dan was like, "You know what? There's actually no point to showing this bit because it doesn't play into the narrative whatsoever anyway. So yeah, sure, I'll cut that out." So that's what happened after the ultimate sacrifice when Mal and
I thought they
came
just lost
back.
the footage, like
Yeah,
a
I think they lost the
regular
footage.
amateur show.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That's horrible.
Wow.
Have you spoken to James about that since? Because you have had a relationship, and for him to be dragging you personally, like that's a bit more than the game. So we're not hearing you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Yeah. Say
Yes.
again.
So I don't know what the actual truth of the matter is, but he did try and message me a couple of times afterwards, unrelated to the game. No apologies or anything. But then until like last night when I was on the other show, I made mention of this as well. And then he sent me a personal message saying, "Hey, I don't know what was said or anything like that, yada yada yada, but I apologize for this kind of stuff." I was like, you know what? I just don't have time for it. So
This is some hard hitting stuff. I'm really sorry that happened to you. That's
I'm sorry, but I also reserve the right to make slanderous comments about your character in the future, should I feel like it. So
I also reserve the right to start a campaign to make Dan release the footage. But I'm still very sad about the situation.
At me if it's within the confines of the game. I don't give a shit. But if it's outside the game, then fucking.
Well, because he knew nothing about you in the game because you were never together.
So outside the game comments.
So it had to be stuff about he knew about Banfield outside the game, the way he was dragging him. Because what could he say about him in the game? They never played together. He doesn't know what Banfield's doing, and Banfield's not really doing anything over there except getting his name wrong. So there's nothing really to drag him about, right? So yeah, it must have been a bit more. And for Dan to cut it, it had to be more personal than that.
Yes, but truthfully, if you are playing the game to the person on the other tribe's preference of him wanting me out, why would you allow yourself to be playing the other tribe's game? Would you not want to keep the person that they're scared of?
Yeah, I also think it's stupid that James wouldn't go for the advantage when you're down in numbers going into a merge. It's silly as well. I don't know.
I have some very hot takes about the other tribe, actually, if we're ready to kick Banfield off.
Okay, so what we're going to do, I want to say one more thing to you, and then we will bring you back after we've interviewed Hayley, and we'll get you all together for like a group love thing. Now, how did you feel when you got voted out and someone said something about go be with your kids? I have kids, right? If I got voted out and someone said that to me, I'd want to punch him in the face.
Also, you have kids. You do not. I was like, Dad, it was giving Brady.
Yeah, Brady. Did you like that or not like that? I love my kids, but also I'm here to play.
Well, it was disrespectful, but at the same time, I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. What was cut out after I got voted out was I turned around and said, "All right, guys," I had like a 30 to 60 second monologue of me just good luck, guys. Let's go get him. You guys are final 6, purple strong, yada yada. And I just fucking left. And then for that comment, I'd be like, "Excuse me, what the fuck did I do?"
Yeah. I think she thought she was being nice, but it's not. It'd be annoying. It'd be an annoying. Yes, you care about your kids. You want to be with your kids. And you love them. But equally, you came here to play a 2-game of Survivor. Getting voted out at the end of day 1 and seeing my kids doesn't make me happy about the fact I got voted out. It wasn't a 50-day game of Survivor where I'm desperately missing my children. It's one day and I wanted to make day 2.
Before the podcast started. She was trying to join and CK was like, fuck off.
Oh, you're my kid? Yeah, I was. I don't want to put her on TV. Okay, so
I had an image to maintain, so...
Everyone knows I have a kid. I'm the cool dad. I'm going to take you out of the thing, and then we'll bring you back. You follow, you listen, comment, and we'll bring you back with Hayley a bit later. But that was awesome. Thank you so much. Well, it was awesome. It was incredibly sad, and my heart is broken, but it was also awesome.
We stand you, Banfield.
I'm shooketh, but lovely to meet you, Banfield.
And to you guys.
We'll see you in a bit.
The triple B of my heart.
What an amazing guy. What a horrible story.
I'd be friends with him.
Yeah, the people that were on gang that weren't friends with Banfield can all go suck it. Frankly, he's
let's
great.
quickly talk about the challenge. It was a gross food challenge, and I'm pretty sure huh?
Which one couldn't you eat?
All of them. I'm a vegetarian who's allergic to shellfish. I literally couldn't eat a single one of those.
The Centurion egg.
Fair?
Getting that on the show.
Doesn't that have?
No, that's the grossest one. That was the grossest one. For me, that is probably...
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the other 4 I could smash down. I thought the other 4 I could smash down pretty easy. But the
Yes.
egg, look, at the egg, I'm going for immunity then, so I can probably do it. I thought about buying one and like eating it on the show just to show how tough I am. But then I'm like, no, I'm not that tough.
You're gonna do it
So
on the
you do
show just to prove a point. You're probably
Yeah.
gagged.
Why
All
are
right,
you
CK.
shocked?
CK, next
I have a
week,
strong
you have
stomach.
to-
I can do this stuff.
Would you do it on the
It's my
podcast? at least?
challenge.
On the podcast. How about
Yep.
next week on the podcast?
I don't know. It seems a bit gross. I'm not doing it for immunity. I'll do the oyster and the jelly.
No. As in, do
The
it
oyster
next
and the
week on
jelly
this
would be
podcast.
delicious. If I wasn't incredibly allergic to oysters now, I could do the oyster and the jelly.
I loved the faces Michael was doing in this challenge. I gave
Yeah.
you, it was incredible where everything he was eating, he was having such a visceral, physical reaction in his face too. I
Mark,
adored that.
Banfield, Michael were the MVPs of facial expressions. I'm pretty sure that Mar's facial expression made the episode
It's the thumbnail. It's the
thumbnail.
and
Yeah,
they've done her dirty there.
I think she's
just-
always. I'm pretty sure from the moment we've met her, she's always said she wanted to do a gross food eating challenge, and she
Yeah,
was.
I think
Yeah.
that's right. And Anna or Amy as
Anna, yes.
as Mel loves to say.
as well as
She
to call her,
smashed it.
Amy. She was incredible. I thought she was actually having, until she didn't get her way on the vote, I thought she was having a bit of an MVP episode. And then she get away.
You go, Max. You go, Max, because I've got some opinions on this one.
In my notes that I made over this episode, I thought she had. See, I agree with you, CK. She was having a fantastic episode. Even the way she was that long little discussion she had with Haley about the vote, where
Yeah.
she was acting all. I perceived it. I feel like Anna has a very high survival IQ. I've said this a lot this episode, but she's one of the players that I feel like knows the game really well. And to talk to Haley in a way where she was asking about, what happens if I can pass on this individual immunity? Can I do that? And just kind of just dumbing down the situation to.
Do you think she's dumbing down the questions? She's making herself look dumber about Survivor than she
I
is.
100% believe that. I might be proven wrong, but I feel like she knows exactly what she's doing. And then the contrast from her conversations with Haley, who Anna knew they were targeting, versus chats with John and the Orca, a lot more strategic, where she's showing her cards to her alliance.
I agree. I get 2 impressions of her too. I think that sometimes she's playing incredibly smart, but she does also come across as not as smart. But it does definitely feel like it's deliberate. I agree. I think she's deliberately playing into people's perception of her as not being too Survivor savvy. But I think she really sort of knows what's going on quite well. She didn't get away on the vote here, but like, because I think what came down here was it made sense to vote out Haley for the reasons they did, and she just didn't want to do that because she was that close to her.
But she wanted to flush Mel's idol. That's the thing.
I
feel like
that makes no sense. That's a stupid move. I'm not into that.
you're not into that.
They are a minority number going into merge with a super idol. Like, there's no advantage to use for your tribe to get the numbers back, and you want to flush it. Why?
But if you're in Anna's situation, I'm not sure how close they are in an alliance. Mel's always going to be using that idol for herself, I assume.
You have two options. You have 2 options, right? You get to merge, and we go, Mel, bring in the super idol. Let's use it. We can save whoever from us gets voted, and then we can turn this game around. That's number 1. Yeah. Okay. You don't think that's going to happen? You go to the other tribe and go, Mel's got a super idol. You're probably going to. So what are you going to do about that? Like, maybe we should all just load up on her, and then, you can split on like one of my other people that I want to throw under the bus. Like, like you can use it both ways. I don't understand why you wouldn't keep it. Particularly with the numbers as they were.
I'm here and tell you you're both wrong, and I think you've been fooled by the edit. This was an absolute hot mess of an episode for Anna. She would be an absolute nightmare to work with, and I think that this was the nail in her coffin. I think her pre-existing relationships of what have kept her in this game, and I think it's nothing but downhill from her from here. She is the one who refused to let Mel in the vote last round, even though Mel would have been on board with that. Mel has a super idol. Mel told Anna she has a super idol. Anna knows this information and still chose to vote for Mel. Anna has voted incorrectly 3 out of 4 votes. Anna says we need to isolate this person who will still be in the game going into the merge, who will now distrust us. Anna comes and says we need to split the votes, but I don't want them to be on Hayley, but I don't want them to be on James Wolfe, but I'm not going to tell anyone that I want them to be on John, and actually, John, you're critical to my plan working. So she not only does she come up with this completely cooked plan to try and flush an idol and create an enemy, but she doesn't actually have an alternative plan to put forward. She's inflexible when it's pointed out how bad this plan is, to the point where they then feel like they have to leave her out of the vote, and she loses her number one ally while isolating her other allies from them. I felt like she came out looking really good in that challenge, and they gave her an incredibly generous edit. But I feel like when we go into next episode, there is not a single person on her original tribe who wants to work with her.
Yeah,
The gun was loaded, and you pulled the trigger.
Bang, bang. I can see it, but I still think flushing the super idol is a stupid play. What do you think about that?
Oh, so stupid. So when James came back and the first thing he said is, what are you talking about? She'll still be in the game. She won't trust us, and we're merging.
We don't have the super idol anymore.
The plan she went to John with was, oh, are you fine with us putting 3 votes on Mel, 1 vote on you, and 1 vote on James? No, or like 1 vote on Hayley and 1 vote on whoever, you or James. Terrible. Yeah, Mel, she isn't you. Amy cannot get your name out of her mouth.
And you can't get the name Amy out of your mouth.
That's funny.
It was, don't give me nice comments, stunning. When I saw Anna with her hair scooped up underneath that beanie, it reminded me just how gay I am. Absolute stunner, and I would forgive her for anything. And if I was editing this show, I would also make her the hero of this show.
So do you think that if you were there, you'd be fooled by her silly plans and want to go
no, if I was there, I would be like, yes, girl, I'll do whatever you say.
Let's do it. Let's do a 1-1-1 on the 3 of us and see what fucking happens.
Put the votes on me, babe. That would be me, 100%. But this was Mel and John ran this vote, and I ultimately feel like it was John, because Mel wanted to vote Wolfe, and John said, no, we need to get rid of Hayley, which split up their Mean Girls alliance. Those two ran this vote. Anna drove her game into the ground.
There's an important part that you missed in the last episode that wasn't actually in the episode, but John told us in the comments that before the Simon boot, Mel told James and John that she has the super idol. Okay. So when Anna was like, she's got the super idol, doesn't everyone know about that? And they're like, John's like, I don't know about that. That's bullshit. He did know about it. It wasn't in the edit, but he's told us in the comments that he knew all about the super idol. So obviously James and John are going to be working with Mel. Like, they just had to paint this edit like it was going to be a bit more interesting than it was, I think.
Yeah, actually, when I drew the diagram for this tribe of who's aligned with who, John is in the best position. He's the only person who was aligned with everybody. So we have Hayley, Mel, John, who were in the Mean Girls alliance. We've got Mel and Hayley, who were happy to vote together on this. We've got Wolfe, Anna, John, who are working together. I think I did try and push James under the bus with Hayley because, exactly. So after this
what was she spiteful about?
Because Mel was left out after the last vote and really trusted James. Yeah. And this was another thing I wanted to give John.
They left him out. They left her out for no reason.
Because Anna pushed for it, which she said this episode. She doesn't trust Mel. And
what was Mel going to do? Like, what does it matter? We're going back to the Simon vote here, but what does it matter if Mel knows? You just tell her we're all voting for Simon. What's she going to do? Play her super idol? She can fucking do that anyway.
It doesn't make no sense. And John is the one who does, I think this really saved John as well, who does the recon on that. So James is running around being a straight man, not realizing he's pissed off a really important woman with a super idol. And John is like, I need to get Mel back on side. Mel, girl, it was nothing about you. You and I, we are like this. Whatever you want to do with this vote, we'll do it, except maybe we should just do what I want to do. I felt like really clutched up there.
Yeah, he also had that bit that, like, we know John, as everyone who watches knows, where Haley was trying to talk about some plan, he just cut her off with an over-exuberant, like, no, what are we doing? John does that when he's like, so you're talking just shit to him that he doesn't agree with, it, he just cuts you off. All right, and you know, Max knows all about that as well. Or
being cut off.
Yes, you know all about being cut off. And then we bring in the, do we agree with, before we bring in Haley, do we agree with the thought process of, like, the injury would actually be a hindrance to the rest of them in a merge sense? She would be not targeted for not being able to win challenges? Or do we think that that was just a convenient excuse for John James to spin about why they should be getting rid of her and not Mel, who they couldn't get rid of anyway, but, you know.
I think it's a convenient excuse, but I also think that Wolfie is a naturally more alienating figure than Haley. And if you have a closer relationship with Wolfie already, then you stick with Wolf because they're always going to vote him out before you. What did you think?
Yeah, it's that sort of person, isn't it, that rolls into the merge. Big shoulders, like strutting his way in, thinking he's got this whole thing under control, and then they're like, yeah, let's get rid of him. No, they don't get rid of him. They get rid of his faithful sidekick first. Just like how, they get rid of the faithful sidekick and then they get rid of the egomaniac. So it's John, then the egomaniac. That's what's going to happen.
Would you like an opinion, Max?
Do I deserve one? I don't know. Let's talk to Haley. I'd like to talk to Haley.
We're bringing in Haley. Look, let's be
bring
real.
out some comments as well, though. I want to name and shame Greg for being a stanner.
Greg's a stanner. The Lentil King loves the stanner. I think Greg would be a Wolf fan as well. And then we bring in Mel, who says we wanted James because he's a great shield. Spot on, Annabelle. Your takes are hot as ever. We'll bring in Haley, who I think, but for this injury, would have gone very deep in this game. I think before the injury, she had amazing connection. She's clearly got a great survivor brain, and she was good at the challenges, but not too good. I think she would have been a huge player, and so it was really sad that this injury knocked her out, but I'm glad she was able to last a few more rounds, and that gave her a great narrative as well, which was always good to enjoy. So bringing in Haley, welcome.
Hello. How are we?
Hi, Queen. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
Hi, Haley.
Is this going to be a positive interview or a lot of, but we also got quite depressed during it? Is this going to be fun and depressive or just fun?
I love Banfield, but I think my tribe liked me, so I think we're good.
Oh, wow. We're going that way,
everyone.
Oh,
that's why you come to the Orca podcast. It's all spice and nothing nice.
All spice and a little bit of.
I'm gonna say it right off the bat. It's very briefly touched on in my pre-game content. I came into the game wanting to be a villain, and I got an over-the-top hero edit medevac, basically. Everything I have ever wanted came crashing down around me. So if I can be a little bit of a villain, I'll say something worse. But if I can be a bit of a villain in the post game, I'll have to make up for it here.
Okay. Beautiful.
This is your time.
I'm sorry, but sometimes people just have natural hero or villain energy, hun, and people have always scanned you. Whether you like it or not, you might just actually be a lovable person.
I know.
I exude natural hero energy, I feel.
Fuck off. Shut up.
Okay, well, going on that note, you said in episode 6, the one we just watched, how much of a lovely person the Orca was. Episode 5. And I just, I'm looking at the two of you, and I can't see you clicking that way. Is that legitimately? I guess because you wanted to be a villain. So you're like, I like his villain style. Is that what we're going at here?
No, like I do like James. I think it's like a different energy. We're not similar people by any stretch of the imagination. We have very different ideals, just in life, but also in Survivor. He's the very put on, like circus master ringleader character. I am not, to put it simply. But I also think like so much of Survivor is always going to be like connecting with people that you aren't like. I would hate having to play with 8 different versions of myself. One is too many. So like another bunch of people like me, no ma'am, give me something different. Give me the Simons of the world, give me the Jameses of the world. I'll still vote them out, but like they're kind of fun to play with.
You were so well connected with everyone on that tribe. Like it didn't matter if it was Zaddy Simon or like slightly weird Joseph or Alpha James. Like you were hooked in with every single one of them.
And I
which
do
is
want
such
to
a credit
talk
to the
about
game.
those relationships that you made in
For sure.
the game.
Yes.
But I want to talk about first. I'm just interested in the story we're not seeing with the pre-game, because what CK might be missing is that Hayley was on production, so seeing all the behind-the-scenes footage for James Wolfe's absolute hot mess.
Hot Mess Express perjury game.
Hot Mess Express perjury game.
Is this the one you played, Annabelle? Or?
No, this was the one before.
Annabelle was the season after, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one that like
had to be taken aside and given a talking to. So Hayley must have come in with somewhat of a negative preconception on how this was going to go with James. And I wanted to know, because there's so many perjury outcast tangential
Alumni,
people here,
yes.
how that affected things in the game.
I genuinely don't think it had much of an impact at all. I know you're going to call bullshit.
No, I think it could have had a negative impact on that relationship in some ways. Like that's what I want to know.
Right. Okay. Not like hugely, because I actually conducted James's cast interview for that season. And so we sort of it was a really long chat, like 40 minutes. I'm sure you remember what your interview was like. They are messy.
So I'm confused. Did you work together on the on
production?
Or you were
I
on
was production. He was playing.
He was a contestant. On
Yes.
The first
sorry.
Season. Okay.
Clarify,
got it. No,
yes.
thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, I ran his interview. We kind of gelled just in that sort of weird interview kind of way, which is obviously not like a standard friendship, because friendships aren't interviews. But I had that sort of conversation to base off of, regardless of anything else that happened in that. So
yeah, you had more
like,
of a real conversation as opposed to watching him play a game where you might be like just playing a game.
How he would play a game. The interview is, how would you play a game, right? Like that's what I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like I probably had a little bit of insight, but I hate when games are dictated by pre-game relationships, and I really tried to make an effort to not let it come into play. Like I didn't know James was playing. I didn't know Nick was playing. I saw Nick arrive. We were both signing like our little waiver. I turned to my right and Nick's there, and I just like exclaim, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And all production's like, shush, you can't talk. No, we're cutting this off. And I was like, so I had no idea any of these people were playing. I was going in completely blind.
There's something like Canberra Survivor has had quite an outcast, a perjury sort of connection, because there's people on season 1, right? From it.
Correct.
Well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brad and Ben.
Yeah, Ben. Ben's the one that interviewed me, right? I didn't get on perjury. He said I was too confident, I feel. Like, this guy, I think he said to Annabelle, he's like, this CK guy really rates himself, doesn't he? But he's a lovely guy.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago, CK, get over it.
I forget every time I remember every time I wasn't casted. It's like a dagger through the heart.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your really close relationship. So the show tries to paint that it was you and Anna. Is that how it really was?
To a degree. Straight up, my number one was John from the second we arrived.
Yeah.
We didn't have a mat. Banfield mentioned we sort of stood in like little circles in our tribe colors and just chatted to each other about like our names and what we do and all that sort of really base level stuff for about 20 minutes. And I just felt it with John. Like there was just a click. And then that sort of little three, the Mean Girls happened with Mel. And I really liked Mel and really trusted her until the whole advantage fiasco happened, and she very blatantly lied to me on multiple occasions. And I was like, okay, that changes things. And then Anna sort of became a close ally of mine as the game went on, because it came across like she had a very vested interest in keeping me around. I don't agree with what you guys were saying about like Anna sort of faking the conversation about asking about giving me the immunity necklace and all that. I think Anna's seen maybe like 3 episodes of Survivor full stop.
Okay.
She is not like a super fan by any stretch of the imagination. She's barely seen the show.
Okay.
I think she was quite genuinely asking the mechanics of it. And like every single time we had a conversation, she was saying like, I really want to go deep with you. And I felt like she was pulling me aside for chats more than most people. So I was like, all right, this is someone who is going to try to keep me around. So I'm really going to latch onto that where I can.
I think she's
except for Joseph. Joseph, when he sat with you on the rug, when you had your injury and he stayed with you, and then you voted him out anyway, and you say you weren't a villain.
Look, Joseph was the person I didn't trust him from basically the second we arrived, and I did genuinely appreciate like him sitting there with me, and I said that in that voting confessional, but he was still the person I wanted out that round. That never changed. I can appreciate it on like a kind human to human level, but he was not good for my game and he was gone.
Yeah.
Haley, I'm marrying someone from Winu. It's Zaddy Simon or Icon Joseph. Which one am I picking?
Oh, for you?
For us. My love is your love, babe.
Oh, the three, you, me, Simon. It's a match made in heaven. We're doing it.
Oh my God, he could totally handle us both as well.
He said that he said he's not going to get divorced again, so you've missed out.
They all say that. Catch me at 55.
I did put to him that you wanted to get it on.
I know, I watched that bit.
You watched that bit? Okay.
Wonderful.
This is the Spy Show.
Canberra After Dark.
This is the Spy Show, not the Night Show. We're getting all the
She was in the comments, not the DMs, which is good.
Oh my goodness.
We're just straight up in the comments. We went hard nothing. And then, do we have anything more we want to bring Haley, or do we bring Banfield in and continue?
Quick question.
Have you seen Haley?
But I want to CK, go. Fine.
No,
have you seen Banfield since you played? Or is this going to be the first time reunited?
I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've really had the opportunity to speak or see each other, because we're just in like different areas, really.
Yes. But you share a bond. You are both the people that had the sucky thing of just missing out on the merge, which, other than being first boot, is like the worst thing that could happen to you, right?
And we were both voted out right around our birthdays, which makes it even better.
So I want to hear, let's get together, and this should just be a bitch fest against the rest of the cast. Let's have some fun with it.
Before that, though, I'm all for it. obviously your ankle was a huge part of your
Yes.
game. Afterwards, did you check it out? What was actually the problem, or what was wrong?
Oh, I fully just rolled it. Like
It was wrong.
it was nothing serious. So obviously, like,
That's good.
because I was voted out at the end of day 1 and I was injured and it was raining, I wasn't going to stay at the camp. I wasn't going to sleep in a tent with a bad ankle overnight. That's kind of not my vibe. So my partner's in Canberra, so I went slept in an actual bed, gag. And it was pretty much fine by the next morning, which just made the whole experience so much better, because if I'd made merge, it may have been fine.
So you don't even get to stay overnight together for the first night. How does that work? You're there.
The option was there. I chose
No, I
to
mean
go
as a tribe, like in the game. So.
Oh yes. So yeah, Banfield and I were booted like it was probably 7 p.m. Maybe 8 p.m. even. It was fairly late.
So is it a one night game?
No, that's just the pre-merge.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so could the contestants go home before the for this first night, or did they have to stay there and sleep?
I believe all the people who like made merge stayed. I'm pretty sure that they sort of had to, but the people who didn't kind of had the option. I was planning on it originally, but obviously the injury kind of got in the way of that. I didn't want to sleep on uneven ground in the cold and potentially worsen my injury.
So there's no accommodation for those that were voted out. It was just a tent.
It was just a tent, or if you already had accommodation or something.
Yeah. Because I think on Survivor Canberra season 1, Ash told me that after the first day, they all just went home or went to a hotel or something, and then came back for the second day. So in season 2, they've upped it.
Yeah, I think part of that was also because the campsite like kind of flooded or something.
Yeah, I think Ash said something like that. How did this one not flood? Like, oh my god, that rain.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Haley, at least you had an umbrella the whole time.
Well, yeah, I specifically needed the umbrella so my fucking bandage didn't get soaked. I don't think I would have wanted like athlete's foot or some awful infection on top of a bad ankle. Fair enough. So at least we got to keep that dry.
Right, let's bring in Bradley Blake Banfield III, Triple B.
Right. I'm going to tap out for a minute.
All right, so it's the first time you guys have been able to connect since you played.
Girl.
Hello.
Shared connections.
Shared drama. This is so cute.
I know, right? I had walking pneumonia. You had an ankle injury. We both got voted out basically on our birthdays. It was both on the pre-merge.
I know.
That's going to makes it.
Happy birthday, you two.
It's a beautiful little intermingle. Thank you.
What do you've been watching? Okay, so let's do a quick. You both watched up to here, obviously, and because you never got to play together, you only saw each other at the challenges and things like that. What surprised you about each other's games based on what you understood and what you've seen now on the show? Whoever wants to go first.
Oh God. Honestly, I had so little frame of reference for like anything that was going on Purple, because like you guys never went to tribal apart from the Grace one, and we were basically outright told by Nick at like the sacrifice thing that Grace was going home, and we were like, okay, cool, we have one dynamic and it was probably a unanimous vote, so anything after that.
And it wasn't a unanimous vote.
Well, it wasn't unanimous, but for all intents and purposes it felt like it was. So yeah, it was kind of hard to get any sort of read on. I guess I would not have had any clue about the sheer impact of Namegate. Like that has been an absolute ride to watch unfold. And it's absolutely, like, in my eyes, that is one of the most entertaining things to happen on the Purple Tribe.
I agree.
Like,
Oh,
it's a
Sure.
Purple
It's a
Tribe is
pretty
so
simple-
boring.
It's not even
it's a
like
pretty
standalone
simple
advantage.
dynamic.
It's, babe, just tell us your goddamn name. Yeah.
Purple Tribe is so boring. This has really kept it going. Like, it's not like Orange and all your chaos and shit. This is just like got nothing going on because they're all just being kumbaya. So like the name gate has been amazing. Like, I don't get excited with the Love Rocks quest. I get excited by name gate.
You want to know the best part? It's still not my fucking name.
Oh my god, breaking news. His name is Ben.
A year in the making.
Release the birth certificate. Release the birth certificate.
It comes out and it's like Ben Field, and it's double barrel.
Banfield. Did you? Okay, what about you, Banfield? What about you, Banfield, in terms of Haley's game? What have you surprised or enjoyed that you weren't aware of?
Well, the dynamic that we understood on Windu was that Simon was like in control because he was charismatic, he was a little bit older, so wiser kind of thing, and he was good at challenges. So we thought you guys wanted to keep him around, so we expected him, James, you, Haley, and John to be like a type 4.
Okay.
So that was sort of what I was peddling, to my understanding. But what surprised me about your game was how you were the most socially charismatic one. Like, nothing personally against you, but like you coming out as like in the actual season was you were like bored out of your fucking brain over at Orange. And I figured
Why
if
were
you
you
were
bored?
our tribe, you would have had the time of your life.
Did you see some of those early conversations?
We heard about the Joseph ones. They went on.
Oh,
a while,
I
apparently.
was more referencing that round 1 tribal council where I was like, we talked about books, reading, like I was the person who had to keep the conversations moving.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Someone needs to do it. Someone needs to
It's
keep
getting
things
red
going.
Hugo.
Sorry.
So you found the tribe conversations boring, but it was too exciting having to vote all these people out, right? Like, you got to play a lot of Survivor.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like it was just those very early ones that it was like
Before the game starts rolling.
Going.
Yeah, before the
Yes.
game starts rolling.
I would have been bored out of my mind on Kubadang. I need something to happen.
Yeah.
Although you guys got Connor, so you win some, you lose some. I was bitter about that.
You particularly a stan of Connor, or is it just anyone from Australian Survivor would be pretty exciting?
Both. I adore Connor, and I think it would have been very poignant as someone. He got injured in the first episode of his season when he burned himself. I think that would have been a very cute little story. And it's a very big part of why I voted Joseph out. That was personal.
Because he cost you the Connor.
He cost me Connor, and I was like, you're done. It's over.
He was exceptionally bad in that challenge.
He was awful. I wanted to be the catcher because that was when my ankle started playing up. But I also know how to catch.
You would have done better with it. You could have been in a broken ankle and still done better than Joseph.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Would have you one-upped Joanna, Colin, like with the whole his amazing eyes situation?
It's amazing.
Oh my god!
How
How
would have you beaten that moment, Haley? What would have you given us? What would you have given the viewers?
Oh, it's hard to say. I probably would have made some reference about like, oh, this is a spiritual soulmate. You were injured. I'm injured. It's meant to be. Life
Clever.
imitates art.
Yes, Sophie, bring up this comment, please.
Sophie
Okay.
says, haha, Haley and Drake are going each other way to get to Connor. No, when we said at the time, and I've made some jokes about, some people don't know who he is and whatever, but like a lot of people here are big Survivor fans, and I once paid like, I don't know, $200 on an eBay auction for charity to do a Zoom call with Benji. So like,
Right,
that's what we do. We're we're fans of it. Like we want to have that access, and it was a huge reward. And he really like if I was you, I would have taken charge and said, Zaddy, you're catching the fucking things. Like Simon could have caught that shit in about 5 seconds. Take charge.
It's interesting because so much of that challenge from the perspective of the people who wanted to be catchers, my understanding was Joseph volunteered for that because he didn't want to have to run to get the sandbags if like we didn't get them in, because they told us we had to run down the hill to pick them up, and he's like, I can't run.
I love him. I would
When he
die.
can't run, like he's injured or like.
Oh, I just don't think he was very good at running.
Put Sophie's comment on.
That was my understanding.
That's great. He can't run and can't catch.
Yeah, pick a struggle.
I feel
But
like
he
could have
did
been good
say
at the
we had
puzzle.
him. We obviously had him on the podcast a couple of weeks back, and he said he did, in fairness, say he should have done the puzzle.
He absolutely should have. He could have done literally anything else, and
I think he probably would have been good at the puzzle. He probably would have been good.
He
got a
probably
puzzle
would have
vibe.
been.
Catching.
Did you do the puzzle? What about you, Banfield? You didn't do the puzzle. Were you interested in that?
It was strategic that I didn't do the puzzle. I absolutely love puzzles. And I thought, well, I'm already a bit of a physical threat. Why would I want to be a mental threat as well, but being good at puzzles? So I was like,
a physical threat? You were the physical threat?
Banfield was
Banfield.
Challenge Beast, who was targeted specifically for being a Challenge Beast.
Oh, that's why they said that at the tribal council.
Wow. In fairness, he did clutch up in a lot of those early challenges.
I was going to say, yeah, Banfield's the reason we lost the first challenge. It was him and Simon.
No, Dom
And
is the
Dom.
reason you lost the first challenge. Simon's foot was not out of the circle. Dom's just making shit up because that's what Dom does.
100% was out of the circle.
Even if it was, those circles did not need to be that fucking small.
I would agree.
Like-
They were putting Dom in a hard position to make a line.
What is the point? Oh, keep your feet inside a circle this big. Good luck. Stand on your tippy toes.
This is great. This is the sort of content you can get on the off-brand show because we don't have to be nice of these. We're unaffiliated.
In fairness, we all had to stand in the same size circle, but yes, it was fucked.
No,
What you
I
didn't
know.
actually see was I was swinging around on one leg like a goddamn pendulum against Simon.
Yeah. That one was close.
Did you also win the sandbag thing, or was that Nick at the end?
That was
The noughts and crosses.
that was win use only win.
Oh, was that against? No, it was against Nick at the
Yeah,
end.
that was
when James
our
clutched up
only
that one.
win, and that was also the only immunity challenge that didn't come with a reward.
Yeah, so we didn't want to win it, so we just
How
gave
much?
you one.
So how much of the food did you guys eat at the eating challenge? How far did you guys get from memory?
I threw up at the second one.
The sardines, really?
Yeah, the sardines.
You were out second on that, weren't you?
I took too much of a big bite. Like I just tried shoving the whole thing in and just got lodged. I was like,
Oh,
And
God.
and Haley, you went out on the oysters and jelly.
The oysters in jelly. If they'd been fresh oysters, like salty, that would have been fun. No, that was dried oysters. That shit was concentrated.
Oh, like canned.
Yeah, that shit was concentrated, and it made the entire cup of jelly taste like oyster juice. It was also
delicious.
like each person had a different flavor of jelly. You could see they were all like colored.
Yeah.
That wasn't flavorless. Like it was, I think mine was purple. It was probably like black currant. So it was like a fake black currant jelly mixed with the most pungent dried seafood stench.
Yeah.
That was literally like an entire cup of jelly. And I was like, this is rotten. I think I could have done the fisheye. I think I could have even had a chance with the egg at the end.
Yeah.
That fucking jelly was the rankest thing I've ever put in my mouth in my life. And like I stank for hours afterwards. You see it tribal.
Your gas problem was not a joke.
I literally burped in Mel's face like 4 times at tribal council.
With your oyster jelly breath.
Oh, she was like, I hate you. You stink. It's probably why she voted me out. And I will not blame her.
There was a good
Well,
point when there was a group of you talking and you just kind of came in and went, "Bah." It was great. Good TV.
It was so embarrassing because that was literally the only thing I'd eaten that day. We didn't get rewards.
Yeah.
The only thing in my stomach was shit jelly that tasted like oysters.
And Anna somehow just powered through. It's like, I'm feeling good. I feel a bit bad, but I'm feeling good. Like, what a powerhouse. Look, we've gone an hour and 20 here. We've gone longer than the super long hour and 15 episode that we just watched with your boots. So I think we'll wrap it up. But I want to say thank you both for coming on. This has been some really great content. That's what we try to do with our show. We want it spicy, and you guys have been super spicy. There's some deep dive information that we didn't know, which is fantastic. People get all the juicy tidbits here. So we love you coming on, and we really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys putting yourself out there to play one of these games. A lot of people don't understand why people do it. Like, you get nothing from it.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself at risk. You're putting yourself a chance of not being liked by your whole tribe, or somehow getting a hero edit you didn't want. Like, that's just part of the risks you take.
Or an injury in a one-day game of.
I also injured myself on a one-day game. It took me 9 months to get my knee back. So I know how you feel.
I think that's just old age.
Yeah, it is a factor. Both in there. I know how that feels. But you've got to throw yourself out there, and a lot of people don't get it, but we get it, and we love it, and we love this community, and we love people coming together and celebrating it. So thank you for playing, and thank you for coming on, and for being such great value to the content of this season. You're both obviously stars of the pre-merge. And without stars of the pre-merge, it's a really boring season because nothing really strategically happens there. So you need the stars, you need the big characters, and that's what you guys were.
Where it's at. We stand the pre-merge.
Yes, queen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
And also shout out to Schneider. Don't forget the 2023 Maverick Cup coming up in just 2 weeks. Oh my God, Schneider